and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is answering the assumptions that you sent in to me about psychics, spiritualists, mediums, clairvoyance and all that kind of stuff. Today as I upload this, it is my birthday. I wouldn't usually upload midweek, but I wanted to give you something special to celebrate my birthday, just to commemorate the day. So I do hope you enjoy the video. Please do hit a lovely thumbs up if you do. Come and join our lovely family if you like spirituality, psychicness, all that kind of stuff, because we're all about that over here. And if you do enjoy that stuff, you can also follow me over on Instagram at I am Kirstie Lewis. But let's get into answering your assumptions about psychics. So I asked you over on both Instagram and YouTube to send over your assumptions about psychics and mediums, and I've got some from both platforms, so I'm gonna start answering them now for you. Okay. One funny one that I found really interesting is someone said their parents are hippies and super open and accepting. I wish my parents were hippies. No. I think a lot of the times that is a perceived case, especially about psychics and mediums themselves, that they're very hippie-ish and new age, and it's just not really the case sometimes. Like, you know, spirit doesn't just choose hippies and new age people to be psychics. They choose from all different walks and backgrounds of life, and my mum was very open to it. I was always allowed to express it, you know, it was very encouraged, but she's definitely not hippie or new age. That's my experience, and personally the people who I've met who are also psychic have not got hippie or new age parents either. But I feel like myself, I'll probably be a bit on that wavelength as a parent. Said, I think it's hard to sleep at night because spirit's bothering them, but I know you tell them to leave. I have had that experience in the past, because I personally am clairvoyant and medium. I do have mediumship gifts, so I have had that in the past, but because I'm not really ready to fully step into that role of physically seeing spirit at any time, because that is what you are accepting if you do accept to be a medium, and I am accepting that that is my gift, but I'm not really ready to see it at any time, like walking down the street or if I just am in my house, you know. And I have had experiences where spirit have come to me when I've been asleep or when I've just woken up, and it's really scary. It's like, imagine like you just wake up in the middle of the night and someone's at the end of your bed. Like, you are going to be terrified. But I don't have trouble sleeping because of it, not at all. It's just the scare when you wake up and you can feel a presence is by, but it doesn't trouble me to kind of get to sleep or anything like that. And spirit are very respectful. If you tell them you're not ready, they do listen. They're empathic, maybe. Most spiritualists and psychics and mediums are empathic. I think you have to have a certain level of empathy to do this job, and that's why I always say this job requires life experience. You have to have felt a lot of things, experienced a lot of things, been through a lot of things, before you can even go on to really help others in this role. It doesn't mean you can't read for them or anything like that, but in order to help them you have to have had some kind of understanding of life. So yes, I would say most psychics, mediums, clairvoyants are empathic because you have to have a feel of energy. But if you just go to like a tarot reader, someone who just purely reads cards and doesn't have the added bonuses of mediumship or clairvoyance or psychicness, then they don't really need to be empathic because they're literally just reading the cards, and anyone can do that. If you want to study tarot, to read tarot, but you don't have the intuitive gifts, you can do that. Anyone can read tarot. But to have the enhanced like bonuses of being able to read it and then connect it to the person, yes, you have to be empathic to be able to do that. They can see and communicate with spirits easily. Now for me, because my foundations of my spiritual gifts are clairvoyance and mediumship, for me, yes, I have been able to communicate and speak with spirits since I was very, very small. I've always been able to speak with spirit. I've always been aware of spirit ever since I was very, very little. So for me personally, with my gifts, yes, I find it easier to speak with spirit rather than, you know, like That's So Raven. You know, like That's So Raven, she could see into the future and she would get visions of the future. I do get that, but it's not as strong as my ability to speak with spirit. So everyone has different abilities, and as you grow and you learn, you will develop and enhance different areas of your spiritual gifts. You only hear phrases from spirit and songs like bits and pieces of a message. So it's really hard to explain how communication works with spirit unless you have communicated directly with spirit, because it's not like sitting here with a human being, like a human to human experience. It's not like having a conversation with a human where I can say, oh, how are you today? And that person says, yeah, I was doing really well. Like, you know, it is an element of interpretation because they communicate specifically with me through feeling. So I could get a feeling of, if I'm reading with someone, I could get a feeling that they're really happy, and I then have to dig in that. Okay, well, why are they happy, spirit? Show me, make me feel like, and it's you have to really, it takes a lot of time, and I don't think people really understand that. I think people think you just get the message and that's it, and that's why there's another assumption I have in here, which is, oh, people think you can just assume and know everything that's going to happen in the future, and that's not how it works. If that's how it works, that would be really interesting, you know, make life maybe a little bit easier because you could see what was coming. But no, it doesn't work like that, and there is an element of interpretation, which is why I always say we don't get everything right, because spirit could say to me relationship, and they do words, they do like keywords, so they won't say a full sentence. A lot of the time it will be keywords, so they'll say love, relationship, marriage, and they'll give me the feeling, and I have to say, okay, right, so, and then I have to interpret how new that feeling is, how deep that feeling is, how long that feeling's been in that person's life, and it's a lot of energy work, which is why you'll hear a lot of psychic mediums say it's very draining and tiring work, because you are working with energy. You've got to dig in the energy. It gets easier as you continuously get more in tune spiritually. Yes, it does in some elements, but like I say, because once you tick one thing, it's like once you graduate from one level of spirituality, they move you on to something else. So you're constantly learning and evolving. So yes, there are some things I can do in spirituality, and I think I can do that, I know that, and I know it like the back of my hand. And there are other things like psychic visions that are a little bit more difficult, like when I say spirit show me, I'm still training that part of my third eye. So one thing that a few people said was that they assume that psychics can predict their own future, and this is just not true. Imagine, can you imagine if I could just see everything that was going to happen in my life? I mean, that would be amazing. I can predict what's going to happen, but I can't see it, like. And this is how I explain. So psychics, mediums, clairvoyants, we work with our third eye, which is here, and it is like your human being eyes. It's the eye you use to see spiritually. So when you're reading for yourself, you yourself are right here. So you're right in the way of your third eye, because your energy is here. You know, your energy's in your third eye. So you're blocked. You can't see anything for yourself, you know, and that, I always say, would defeat the whole object of life. You know, if you knew everything that was going to happen and you could see everything that was going to happen, literally, what would be the point? And it just doesn't work like that. And actually, I always say, if you're going to choose this path, if you're going to choose to walk down this road of being a psychic, a medium, a spiritualist, you know, prepare to be tested, because it's all about, as you grow and you learn, it's spiritual growth, and it can be very, very challenging. You prefer reading on people you know rather than strangers? I would, at least. No, because it's actually harder to give someone you know a good reading because you know everything about them. And so I prefer when I know nothing about someone and I could tell them what's happening, and then they're like, wow, and they're really taken back, because for me, they give me feedback like absolutely spot on, that's exactly what's going on, this is what's happening, and then I'm like, okay, wow, and then that gives me the confidence to say, because, you know, even though this is my gift, and I still sometimes doubt myself, I still sometimes have confidence knocks, as anyone would, as actors do, as singers do, doctors do. Everyone has bad days in the office, you know, and there's some days when I think, oh, I don't know if I've got that right. And when it comes to family and friends, because you're so involved, it's like I said, similar to you being here on your third eye, your friends are just a little bit further out as well, for family as well. You can't see everything. You can see glimpses, but not as much as you could for someone who's out here in your energy field, for like a stranger. But it's just not as exciting, like, you know, like you're being stretched. And for me, I want to be stretched, I want to be tested, I want to be challenged, and I want to be shown that I got it right, because that boosts my confidence and it helps me know that, okay, I'm on the right road. So no, for me personally, I prefer to read for strangers. Day must be bombarded with thoughts and knowings sent from the other side. For me now, it's not really messages or information that I get, it's just like my granny's my spirit guide. All my grannies are, so I have 4 grannies and my nanny, and they are my 5 spirit guides, and I also have a great aunt who's just stepped onto my team. So I've got 6 strong, powerful women who guide me every single day, but my granny is like my head chief, so she walks with me every day. So sometimes, you know, it's not all day, it's not constantly, but sometimes I'll be doing something and then she'll just pop in, and she'll just have a quick chat with me in my head. But it's not like constant information, because to really download messages, sometimes it will come just in, but a lot of the time you have to sit and meditate and connect. And yes, if you don't disconnect, then yeah, you'll be flooded and you'll get tired and you'll be drained and you'll be zapped. So it's very important that you disconnect and say to your spirit guides and your team, okay, downtime. As long as you've got that kind of routine, you won't be bombarded with too many messages. You are generally more sensitive than average. For me personally, my personal experience on that is yes, 100%. Like, I cry at everything. Last question I've got is, this person said, I assume they have all the answers they need at the time they are seeking them. No. Because the whole like thing about spirituality, psychicness, mediumness is that you have to evolve and you have to learn, and your learning comes through, like I said, digging and digging and digging and digging. And that's why I always say, a psychic, medium, clairvoyant, your path is always going to be a little bit more difficult than the people around you. It might take you a little bit longer to get places, it might take you a little bit longer to do things, because you have to, I find that there's no shortcuts. You have to go around the whole route, because spirit want you to see everything. They want you to see the whole journey from beginning to end. Like, there's no shortcuts in this role. So no, you don't see everything. Obviously, as your intuition grows, it depends what spirit's trying to help you learn, because it's all about learning and growing and evolving. So it depends what you're trying to learn. If it's a lesson that they've already been trying to teach you, then that's a little bit different. The signs will be a bit stronger. You might see things straight away and things might click. But if it's a brand new lesson that spirit are trying to teach you, then be prepared to go around the whole neighborhood. Lovelies, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this. Maybe if I get any more assumptions, or if you think any, leave them down below and I can do a part 2, because this is actually really interesting to see what people think about psychics and how it works. It's really interesting to see. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit a lovely thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you want to join our lovely community. We post. So follow me over on Instagram for more of this kind of stuff at I am Kirstie Lewis. And I'm now off to enjoy my birthday. Thank you so much for being with me, supporting me, and just sticking with me. I'll see you soon, lovelies. Bye.